Hey everyone, it's Nathan from Dodgeball. Today, I'll show you how to protect your Shopify store using our Dodgeball for Shopify app. Installing Dodgeball for Shopify is really easy. Just search for it on the Shopify App Store and click Install and you're done. Once you're set up, whenever one of your customers submits an order, Dodgeball is notified, and we automatically invoke a protection workflow, which we call checkpoints. Think of them as automated decision points that help you detect, flag, or cancel suspicious orders. This is the Dodgeball checkpoint editor. Let's say you really want to protect against fake or duplicate accounts. You can determine whether something is potentially fraudulent in a lot of different ways. One really simple way is checking the email for a plus sign. People often use an email like nathan+1 or nathan+2@gmail.com if they want multiple accounts without creating multiple addresses. That's a red flag for potential fraud or policy abuse. Let's talk about how you can check for this attack in Dodgeball. First, let's go to our Services tab and load customer data from Shopify. Next, let's go to the Actions and drag in a decision. Let's create a path called primary email has a plus. Then we'll define a condition that says the customer primary email contains a plus sign. Now, when someone creates an order on your store with a plus in their primary email, you can take some sort of action. In this case, we can update the fraud analysis to high risk, and we can cancel it. If you want a more advanced email check, you can use a service like AtData, which provides risk scores for emails and checks whether the email is valid. An example of an invalid email could be nathan@example.com, an address which actually can't exist. Simply drag the AtData block in, connect it to our default path, and then create a decision with two paths. For the invalid email, we check that the email validation status is invalid. For the high-risk email, we set a threshold based on the risk score. AtData recommends a threshold somewhere between 70 and 80, but you can always adjust that yourself. We can mark both of these paths as high risk, but only cancel orders for the invalid emails. To keep it clean, we can put these deny responses at the end of each of our paths. These won't do anything directly within Shopify, but you can use them to provide insight about the decisions that you made later on. For now, let's allow this default path and publish our workflow. I'm going to go to my test Shopify store now and run through an invalid email. Here you can see my fake email, and I'm going to hit Pay Now. Here's the order for bob.r@example.com in Shopify. It was canceled by Dodgeball and marked as high risk. This aligns with this path on the checkpoint. We can also see this checkpoint processing in detail by looking at checkpoint logs. With Dodgeball, you can do a lot more than just look at emails. For example, we can connect to fraud engines like Sift. With Sift's payment abuse score, you can automatically detect customers who might be using stolen credit cards or frequently filing chargebacks. Setting up a low, medium, and high risk path means you can fine-tune your responses for each level of risk. Let's get rid of our automatic allow and load in order data from Shopify. Then we can run the Sift scoring process by dragging this step into the workflow. Next, we make a decision based on the score. Let's set up a low, medium, and high risk path. If we don't actually get a score, we can go down this default path. Now let's make our decision based on some scoring thresholds. And now we can update the fraud analysis in Shopify based on the path we took. We can allow these low risks and mark this as a deny. Finally, we can create an alert if we don't get a score, without actually updating the fraud risk. While this particular workflow provides a lot of customization, your store may be more or less complicated. Maybe you'd be fine just running Sift. Maybe all you really care about is the email risk. You can even do things like leverage historical patterns. Maybe you want to stop abuse of certain promo codes. Maybe you want to flag orders that come in from customers that regularly abuse return policies. You can even use A/B testing to make gradual changes to your policies and test new approaches scientifically. Regardless, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Dodgeball's ability to diagnose and respond to risk. Once you've been using Dodgeball for a while, you'll notice that your orders in Shopify have a lot more information. That's it for today. You've seen how Dodgeball for Shopify can protect your store from fraudulent emails, invalid addresses, and payment abuse. If you're ready to give it a try, go ahead and install the app on your Shopify store and start building your first checkpoint. If you have any questions or want personalized help, reach out to us here in the comments or via the contact form at dodgeballhq.com.